Welcome to this fifth lesson in our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council CCAC 1.0 training series. This is CCAC Lesson 1.5 in our series. Let's get right into the next lesson. What does caucus offer that isn't already out there? 1. The caucus is providing information that is unique about the relationship of citizens to our civil government that we haven't applied for at least all of the 20th century until now. 2. The caucus is teaching we the people how the government of the people, by the people, and for the people is supposed to be operating in real, tangible, and practical ways today. We believe that this is something that has not been actually practiced since before the Civil War in our society. 3. The caucus is the only political effort today that is restoring the people's power in such a way that we have our duty as citizens and our immunities as Americans back in real effect. 4. The caucus provides the mechanism for the good people to revitalize subsidiarity in our local communities in such a way that we are once again obedient to the supreme law of the land, the U.S. Constitution, and its documented counterparts. 5. The caucus gives the good people the tools and authority to govern ourselves from the bottom up, rather than being fraudulently governed through color of law, pretense of authority, and illicit financial manipulation by rogue officials from the top down. And 6, the caucus provides a return to constitutional polity, meaning the people are organized politically in the real way that is designed within the strictures, that is, the limits of constitutional government. Many good people of this country are looking for a remedy that we can understand, believe in, and apply practically and individually in our persons, houses, neighborhoods, communities, and states that is reasonable and lawful in every way possible. We need to restore local cooperation and civil cohesiveness as people who love their neighbors as themselves in the Christian and civil spirit of our general society without antagonism or partisanship. We need to find a good way to trust one another again across our neighborhoods and work together in a common mindset of spirit, purpose, and action, resulting in cooperation within our society. The plan being proposed here is extremely serious business. We are being endangered by the threat of a police state policy being threatened on us, proposed and unveiled from the top to the bottom of our civil government, from every small town and village to the top levels of our state houses and our nation's capital on down, through such agencies as the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and others. What is the opportunity for you in this development? You have a chance to study and learn. We invite you to get serious about sitting back and learning a few new things that you may not just know entirely. You need to realize that this is serious enough to make you be not just willing, but also actually do what needs to be done. And the first step of doing in that process is to spend the time at your own expense to learn what we are teaching and to then be tested at the end so that you can then join this movement along with other good people of America. The fact is that it is very difficult these days for people to simply take the time to listen and learn for whatever reasons. Our education system, our culture, our media, and our society as a whole have trained us to be mentally lazy and self-absorbed with instantaneous entertainment. Taking the time to grasp what we need to know is a lost art. We all need to become artists of learning again. Training in what caucus is teaching is vital to our survival. In one sense, people do know what is going on, at least at the high level. What we need for people to grasp intellectually, mentally, is that they have the authority to act. But people do not know what to do to actually practice that authority. Caucus is here to guide you to what to do. Caucus is breaking the societal paradigm. Caucus has a unique message and an equally unique form, too. The caucus message is normal. What is going on in America today is abnormal. We need a return to normalcy. If you as an American think this is worth your time and effort, here's what you need to do next. You need to join us. You need to join caucus. But do you have enough information now to do that intelligently and wisely? We do not think so. There is a need to go deeper in your learning, and we will continue that now. Let us talk further about subsidiarity. We have defined in our previous lesson subsidiarity as when local problems are solved at the local level by the common people of the community dealing with a particular problem at its source. These common local people need to have all the necessary information to solve the problem being performed by the local common people, not bureaucrats or other public officials who have both the mechanism and the authority to solve the local problem before having to go to another higher level of government to solve and fix that problem. But why is subsidiarity so important? What difference does it make to society to have subsidiarity functioning properly instead of having our problems solved by big government? What difference does it make? A big difference. It does make a difference who is solving our local problems. The answer is categorically, subsidiarity is vital, especially when freedom and justice is at stake. Here is why. It is a law of human nature that when left to ourselves as human beings, we will pursue freedom as a norm even through individual self-interest. And this is fine as long as we are not interfering with someone else, but it does not take long to see that our personal self-interest may interfere with someone else's personal self-interest. Now, it doesn't matter if we affect someone else intentionally or not, or through bad or good intentions. That doesn't matter either. The point is that sooner or later, individuals will do something that will affect another person. The problem then occurs as to who is going to be the third party to assist in resolving the conflict between these two parties. Remember, every legal relation ultimately involves a conflict or agreement between two individuals. This is very important to understand. Every legal relationship is one-on-one in the way things work in law. It may even be that the problem does not even involve someone else besides you alone and individually, like in a natural disaster, but who is going to assist in resolving the problem? The answer is that either someone in the local community will come forward to solve the problem, or someone who is not in the local community will be called upon to interpose. But why would we be finding that persons far removed from the local community would be involved in solving a local problem? The answer is that the system has been set up that way. Over the years, programs and policies have been put in place, more than likely because of some vested interest, some special interest group, or what the founders called factions, and they persuaded some governmental officials to give them a privilege that made things change. When these governmental officials put in place a law or other form of public policy to manage that problem, more than likely a corresponding power of the local community was removed. A regulation was created, a new bureaucracy was installed. Funding was used to provide the controls. Another layer of red tape was implemented, and local control gets replaced by a state-based power. Top-down structures are implemented, local control gets removed. Along with such workings, things become less efficient. Human nature being what it is, people do not interfere with others who take control unless things get out of hand. As the Declaration of Independence says, people are more prone to suffer while evils are sufferable than to alter the forms to which they are accustomed. And the end result is that the good people lost control of their communities, and then their states, and then society. Elitists and oligarchy gain the upper hand, and that leads to the corporate fascism that we see today. We need a return to subsidiarity to help us to correct the abuses. We will talk more about this in the next lesson. This completes the fifth lesson entitled CCAC 1.5. Thank you for listening to this fifth segment as part of our CCAC 1.0 series in our national orientation. Please join us as the next session in the series comes as we continue to unfold the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council story. This is the extraordinary process in which CCAC will successfully provide continuity of government of, by, and for the people. In our next lesson, CCAC 1.6, we will go on to explain further details of how we implement our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council. If you realize the necessity of revitalizing constitutional polity at the state and local level, please join this cause by going to www.ccac-us.com and registering on our official website. Take Pre-Quiz 1.0. We then urge you to work through the entire CCAC 1.0 series to understand the continuity of essential information we provide to help us all be on the same page. Then, upon passing the post-quiz with a perfect score, you will be directed on how to take the next step in the process of becoming a member of this vital organization. Please don't shortchange this process. Listen to and study the CCAC 1.0 material carefully. If you have questions or concerns about what you're learning so far or issues affecting your community, please refer to the links connected to this lesson or contact the person who gave you this information. We extend our best wishes from the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council.